What up, y'all? This is Tracy from Nerd Squish, and today we're going to talk about the long-awaited sequel, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. In 1988, Michael Keaton donned a striped suit and played a bioexorcist in a little film called Beetlejuice. The cult classic movie has spawned an animated TV series, a hit Broadway musical, and now a sequel, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. It's been 36 years, and usually sequels are poo-poo. So the question is, was this long-awaited sequel worth the wait? Now, before we get into all the details of this review, if you're new here, this is Nerd Squish, where we take everything spooky and we take everything nerdy and we squish it all together. So if you like horror movies, Halloween, and pop culture, definitely hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos from us in the future. Also, I'm throwing up ye old spoiler warning. I'm gonna do my best to not get too into spoilers, but at the same time, we're reviewing a movie. We're dissecting, we're diving in. So if you haven't seen it yet, go to the movies and watch it, you loser. And if you find out some facts that you didn't want to know before seeing it, that's on you. You clicked on this video, okay?
It's showtime.
In this 2024 sequel, we find the Dietzes back in Winter River for the funeral of Charles Dietz. Lydia is all grown up and is now the host of a supernatural talk show called Ghost House. She has a daughter named Astrid, played by Jenna Ortega, who cannot stand her mother and does not believe in her ability to see ghosts. And speaking of her ability to see ghosts, Lydia keeps seeing these visions of the ghost with the most, who now knows that she's back at the house where it all went down, and he is doing anything to get her back. Okay, so the first thing I gotta say about this movie is Michael Keaton is the man, and he has not skipped a beat since 1988. He jumped back into this role like no time had passed, and he steals literally every scene that he's in. Catherine O'Hara is thoroughly entertaining as always, although her character is giving more Moira Rose than it is Delia Dietz, and this is only confirmed by the little reference or Easter egg of the crowing. You know, if you watch Schitt's Creek and you love Moira Rose, you know what I'm talking about. Now, this character is way more toned down in this film than in the original, which kind of makes sense because I think that would come with age. Now, that being said, she was one of the standout characters, and I thoroughly enjoyed her in this film. So this kind of begs the question, is Catherine O'Hara suffering from the Jack Sparrow effect? You know, Johnny Depp, after he played such an iconic, brilliant character like Jack Sparrow, every time you saw him after that, he was just Jack Sparrow. Like, that was it. That character just consumed his life, and I kind of feel like Moira Rose has kind of done that with Catherine O'Hara, but I don't hate that. Jenna Ortega is great in this movie. I definitely feel like she is the new Tim Burton collab obsession replacing Johnny Depp. But you know what? I am not mad about this team up because Jenna Ortega and Tim Burton, it's a beautiful marriage and I'm feeling it. Jenna perfectly captures the character of Astrid, this snarky, moody character who loves and misses her dad and resents her mother for having the ability to see ghosts, but conveniently not being able to see the one ghost that she talks to the most, her father. The great thing about Astrid is in this environment, amongst all these characters, she's like the normal one. Everybody else is very over the top, okay? We're very Beetlejuice, we're very Tim Burton, and she was very relatable, very normal, so it's no wonder she'd be snarky and moody because she's around all the crazies. I can relate to that. One of the most fun characters is your boy, Bob. Now, Bob is one of the shrinkers that works for Beetlejuice at the Afterlife call center. I never thought that I would have an emotional attachment to a character in a bright yellow suit, a shrunken head, and can't talk, but yet here we are. He's funny, he's sweet, I love him, and he deserves justice. The absolute best thing about this movie is the practical effects. Now, y'all know, if you've watched a Nerd Squish video before, you know that I am an effects snob. When a movie has an overabundance of CGI, it's distracting, it's disgusting, and I don't want any part of it. And when I first heard about this movie, I was extremely worried that they were gonna go overboard with CGI, but they didn't, and I am very grateful for that. Now, because this movie was made in 2024, it's very, bright, it's shiny, you know what I mean? It doesn't have that grit that you have in the original 1988 film because, I mean, you could put filters, you could try to do it, it's not going to be quite the same. But the fact that they use these practical effects and these textures that you're so used to seeing in Beetlejuice and Tim Burton's work, it matches the energy. It brings the vibes, and it makes you feel like you're still in that same world that you're very familiar with. One of the most fun things about the original movie is the crazy, wild, different characters and makeup effects you have on the people that are in the land of the dead, and they really went wild with this one. The creative genius really shined in this aspect of the film. And obviously the standout in this department is the character of Charles. You see, your boy Jeffrey Jones that played Charles Dietz in the original 1988 movie, well, he's a bit of a child diddler, so you know we couldn't have him in the new film. And it's always an awkward thing when stuff like this happens, right? Because you don't want this person in the film. You don't want to recast them. You don't want to do the weird, like, AI, like, put his face on top of somebody else. You don't want to do that stuff, okay? It ruins a movie. It's just disgusting that I hate when people do that. So if they can creatively write out a character, it's amazing. But often, those rewrites are really stretching and they don't fit. This one, they got it. They totally nailed it. The inciting incident of the film that sets everything in motion is, Charles was big bird watcher. So he goes on this bird watching trip and he gets, attacked by a shark. So in the afterlife, he's literally just like a body that's like missing shoulders and a head, and like blood is just continuously spurting out of the top of him, and like he has a voice somehow. I don't really know how that works. But even in his voice, he's got that like gurgle, and it's brilliant, it's fun, and it's so amazingly Tim Burton. All right, it wasn't a perfect film. There were things that didn't work. Let's talk about it. Dolores. Girl, why are you here? So, you have this new character, Dolores, played by Monica Bellucci, who is Beetlejuice's ex-wife. She's the one that killed him, and she's like this soul-sucking witch, right? On paper, sounds pretty cool, right? If you took this character and the whole background story, origin story of her and Beetlejuice, if you took all of that out of the film, it'd be perfectly fine. You wouldn't miss it. It wouldn't mess up anything in the movie. The only cool part about this character is in the very beginning when, she's all chopped up and she like staples herself back together. Because besides that scene, I would forget about this character, right? And she'd randomly show up throughout the film, and every time I'm like, this bitch here. Like, I don't care. You're not interesting. You serve no purpose to move the plot forward. We're not here for you, Dolores. And this left me thinking, who is this woman? Because I'm watching things on the internet, both before and after this movie came out, where people are saying, Monica Bellucci, Monica Bellucci. Like, this is a name that I should know, and I didn't. So, I Googled her. I'm looking through her IMDb credits, and most of it is movies that I've either never seen, I've never heard of, so there's no reason for this woman to be on my radar. And then I figured it out. She is Tim Burton's girlfriend. And then it all made sense. And here's the thing, you can have new characters, okay? We had some new characters in this movie that were actually really fun. Willem Dafoe's character of this like actor turned detective in the afterlife was hilarious. He was giving me those Boondock Saints vibes, and I really enjoyed him every time he was on screen. I did not enjoy Dolores when she was on screen. There is a lot going on in this film. At times there's too much, both in plot and in just excessive characters, like not even main characters, but background characters, there's a lot to take in. And without getting too into spoilers, one of the main plot points is insanely predictable. And I say that as a person that usually, I don't know if I just go into movies dumb, but like I'm never really like predicting the outcome of characters in movies. And it's kind of frustrating for me at times because my husband, every time we watch a film, first 5 minutes, he's like, this is gonna happen, this person's gonna do that, and then all this is gonna go down. And he's always right. And it kind of annoys me because I'm like, am I stupid? Like, what's happening? How are you figuring this out? So the fact that I could figure that out, it was very simple. This didn't necessarily kill the movie for me, but it just kind of felt like lazy writing, I guess. Now let's talk about the bioexorcist, okay? Beetlejuice is a little bit tamer in this movie. He's not quite as much of a villain as he is in the first film.
Really?
And this kind of had me sweating at certain points in the movie because all I could think is, are they gonna give this the hocus pocus sequel effect where you're taking these evil, villainous characters and you're making them sweet and relatable and, oh, I feel bad for them, because that's not why we're here. I'm here to see a villain be villainous. And thankfully, they didn't do that in this film. Even when Beetlejuice is being more of like a good guy, he's still so ridiculous and over the top that you're so entertained by him that you kind of don't care that he's sort of different. In the end, Beetlejuice is still the dirty, conniving character that we know and love. He's just, taken down a couple notches. All that being said, the question remains, is Beetlejuice a good movie? And the best way that I can put it is that this movie knows what it is and it stays in its lane. And I appreciate that. Did we need it? No. Was it fun? Yes. Here's the thing about a movie like Beetlejuice. It's so iconic that nothing, whether it be a remake, a sequel, a prequel, whatever it may be, nothing is ever gonna be as good as that first one. And I think when they made this, they understood that. They weren't trying to match that. They were just trying to immerse you back into this world, back into these familiar characters. This sequel is simply a chance to revisit characters, check up on them, and see what they're up to 36 years later. So that being said, it's a super fun movie. I think it's worth a watch. It has a lot of rewatchability. It's honestly super funny. Like I expected it to not be as good as the original, which yes, it wasn't as good, but the comedy and Michael Keaton's genius is still there, and I giggled my whole way through this movie. So I'm curious, did you like the movie? What did you think about it? Do you think we need justice for your boy Bob? Let me know in the comments. And the more important question here is, we have Beetlejuice. We have Beetlejuice. Are we gonna get a Beetlejuice? Oh, I said it. Where is he? I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so when new videos hit the channel, you'll be notified. And as always, thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you nerds later.